Welcome everyone, this is Deborah Baker here again from the Costa Blanca in Spain with another video. We're going to be making some jewellery like these pieces and some others from dots made in the microwave kiln, or your normal kiln if you prefer to do that. And I'm going to show you how to do that from start to finish. So if you want to learn this method, keep watching. I like to use the microwave kiln sometimes for complete pieces, but I like to use it to make bits and bobs to go with pieces that I'll perhaps then finish off in a normal kiln, because I can be getting these little bits going in the microwave kiln while I'm busy preparing another piece. For these purposes we're going to make some little dot, but all sorts of bits of things in here, but most of these little dots that you see here, in fact all of them, were made in the microwave kiln, and they were made, we've got some clear, some on clear dichroic, some on black, some that aren't dichroic, just ordinary glass. So they'll have all started off as little pieces of glass, various sizes, even smaller pieces than these. So when you're making, the reason that you get these round or dots when you put scraps of glass into the kiln, if we look at that one for example, glass wants to be 6mm thick, so it will pull up from round the sides so that it can get the height to be 6mm. If it's higher than 6mm, it will melt down and lower down to 6mm. Not all shapes of glass can become round, they have to be fairly uniform to start off with. So these are clear ones, in case you want clear dots, whatever you want to call them, which you might find useful in some pieces as well. And these are some of the bigger dots that have been made in the microwave kiln as well, and some which you could quite easily use as earrings. So I'm going to get my microwave kiln now to make some. So we'll take the lid off that, and again you can have kiln wash in this or paper, and again particularly if you're doing dots I would advise you to have paper, because the kiln wash sticks to the bottom of the dots and then you have to scrape them all to get it off the bottom, which I found out from experience. So here's your bits. These are all your bits that you've been saving that have broke, that you've cut off pieces of glass that have broke off, particularly when you smash glass up. And you're thinking, what can we do with these? Well, there's a couple of things you could do with them actually. You could fuse them all together like I did in one of my previous videos and cut them up to make pendants, or we can make dots. So I'm going to place them on my shelf. If you've got them, if you keep them fairly uniform, otherwise we're just going to put them on. And the joy of like the clear ones, for example, is that if they've got dichroic on them, which I've got some over there, I'll put those on, it's nice to have some with the dichroic up and some with the dichroic down, because when you use them at a later date you've got that extra depth if they're upside down, but there would be some cases where you want them up the right way. So we're going to try and pick fairly uniform pieces. Like a big long piece wouldn't be any good. Let's have this big piece in here as well. And you notice the ones with the black bases, I'm standing with the black at the bottom, because when you use them in a piece you don't want the black at the top, you want the black underneath on the flat, because the bottom will be flat. So I'm going to load this up with some more pieces and I'll show you when it's loaded up. So that's all loaded up, ready to go in. None of them are touching each other. Ideally that's the way that you want it, and whatever sides up I want up I've got up, whatever sides I want down I've got down, and some are just random. So we're going to put the top back on that gently, and that's going to go into the microwave. This microwave is only used in the studio, you can't really cook food in it once you've used it for this sort of thing. Well, this particular one I have to set to full power, and then I'm going to do it for 11 minutes. Every microwave is different. Oh, it's behaving today, it's going up, sometimes it doesn't go up. So I'm going to do 11 and have a look at it. I like to try and get it right the first time, because when you've opened it and you've lifted it up and you think, oh, it's not done enough, and you go back to do it, then it's hard to judge because it's got to heat back up again, and so then you're doing it in like 1 minute or 2 minute increments, and it gets a bit tedious like that. So I like to know my times with the microwave. Anyway, so I'm just going to leave that and we'll come back to it when it's done. So I have my glasses on, I have my Kevlar gloves on. Okay, now I'm going to try and take this off with one hand. Nope, I'm going to have to do it like this. Okay, dots, yeah, they're all pretty much done. There's a couple, it probably could go another 30 seconds. Let me just get this out and then you'll see. Just too big for me to get my hand out. So normally I would just leave that there for now, but I want to take it off to show you, so I just need to put that on there. Okay, so there's a couple that are not quite, but I'm going to put the top back on because there's a lot of heat in there and I just like to wait for it to cool down fairly naturally. And that's it, that's your little dots done. Okay, so they're the dots that have been done in the micro kiln. They've come out quite nice, as you can see. Nice round dots. Anyway, it's what we like. So I'm just going to take these off. I take them off like this because I can reuse the paper underneath them if I do any more. But they're not too bad on the back. If you look at that one, you can see that there's quite a bit of paper on the back of that. So we're going to wash these off. But generally they're not too bad. Some, like this one, haven't quite gone into circles or dots, but there's some really nice ways you can use those in jewellery if you want to create like teardrops or petals for flowers. So here's a few ideas of what you can make with the dots, and then I'm going to show you how to make the ones I showed you at the start of the video. I do like to use clear glass in some of my pieces because it gives a nice depth to your piece. Similar to that is this one, but that's on black and there's no clear gap left in the middle. Raw Dichroic on the bottom, and then yes, on the top as well. I've left that up on the top. Quick and easy pendant to make, again just a tap fuse. Tap fuse retains the texture and depth to the piece, just adds a bit of interest. So let's look how I made those pendants that I showed you at the beginning of the video. So I'm just sort of planning a piece here, and it's based on, you know, we see dots everywhere nowadays, don't we? Like dots, people do dots on stone and mandala dots and all sorts of patterns like that with dots, so I thought it'd be nice to do some with jewellery. So I've got my pattern more or less, so now I just need to make a base. So I'm just going to cut the corners off and then I'm going to grind it on my grinder to get the circle shape. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of those sharp corners till I've got the circle shape. I'll be back. So it wasn't quite small enough when I've cut that out, but I was only just guessing it. And so what I've done, I've drawn around this here just to give me a better circle. So it's nearly there. And so I'm just going to take it down to the outside of that line, then it will just be about right for on there, I think. So that's pretty much there. I don't think I'm going to take it any smaller. And we're going to glue it and put those balls, rearrange them on there. Now put some glue on, it'll help those stay in position a lot better as well. I just wanted to see what they were like first before I put them on here, but ideally you'd just put them straight on, wouldn't you? Because then you wouldn't have to do it twice. Okay, so they're all on there, and I'm going to put it in the microwave kiln to tap fuse now, because well, I'm going to wait till the glue's dried and do it in the kiln because it's quicker, and we'll see what it looks like when it comes out of there. And here it is. Nice pendant, just tap fused onto a white base. So I'm just playing around with some designs here, and this is another design that I'm in the process of doing here, which is like a flower. I've just got to put the leaves on it. This is what that came out like. So you can do any shapes once you've got your dots. That's just a flower, but there's endless options. So the white flower one, I've created this base, and I'm going to add these. Could use any colour, I guess, but I've used clear. And this is the design I chose. The white dots with the blue smaller ones in the centre. So to make the other pieces that I showed you at the beginning of the video, I've actually cut up some pieces, different sizes. I'm going to fuse them in the microwave kiln, obviously because it's quicker and can get on with the pendants. So here are the finished dots out of the microwave kiln. So I just put them all in a sieve like this and go and swill them under the tap. So for the third piece, I'm going to prepare the base, straighten it up a little bit. I have my base, and again I'm going to compile it directly onto my kiln shelf along with the other one that we did. And the idea that I had for this is some of these, which you might have seen them in my previous video when I was explaining the accessories that you can get. And I hadn't decided what I was going to use them for, but I think I'm going to use them here with the dots. So I want 2 of each, so I'm just going to cut those off there. And I'm going to run the dots down the centre. Let's put a bit of glass tack on, or hairspray if you want, just to hold everything in place. And I thought it would be nice to have copper gold centre. So I've picked out the dots copper gold, and we're going to alternate them down here. I'm going to have to tidy the edge up afterwards because these were actually a little bit shorter than what I thought they were going to be like. So you could also arrange them in stripe. I thought I'd use a rectangle there. We've got the ingot shape and the circle. Of course you can use them with all different shapes. Okay, those of you who's watched my other videos will know I like to have a little bit of an experiment now and again. So what I've done with this one, and it is another experiment, never done it before, I've put the dots on here, and I've staggered them so they get smaller and smaller, and the same with these but the opposite way. And then I thought, what else can I do? Well, what I do when I'm putting up glass and everything, I keep these are all the little bits that fly off, and I collect them up, well, the Dichroic ones. I collect them up, and then I don't have to buy the Dichroic frit. You know, you can get the actual bits of Dichroic frit. I do have some. So you can buy these Dichroic flakes, which I think are quite expensive from what I remember. But anyway, so I did buy some, but then look, that's what I collect. They're the Dichroic flakes, and that's what I collect. To me, there's no difference. So saves you buying them, just collect them. Another tip. Anyway, I digress. So that's what I've done. I've put the Dichroic frit either side of the colours. Because it's on white, you're actually only going to see the shiny bits and the little bits of colour that are in there. this stuff's better on black really, but I just wanted to give it a little bit of depth and softness around these micro dots. It's only going on a tack fuse, so it's not going to fuse all the way down. I'm going to take it slightly higher than a tack fuse, I think, just to soften it a little bit more, and we'll see what it comes out like. And here they are now out of the kiln. All looks good. Fused nicely. Ready for the bale. This one's turned out lovely. Lovely colours, unusual design. I'm going to take off the black into the curves on the grinder to give it a unique shape. And this one's turned out nice as well. It's just the fit on the sides, the Dichroic fit's just added that bit of bling glistening to the piece and really made the colours in the middle pop. So I'm pleased with that too. Okay, so a couple of minutes on the grinder and we now have this unusually nice shaped pendant. It's going to have to be fire polished again. And that one's out from the fire polish, and yep, very nice. Bale on it like that. Another unique individual pendant. Thank you for watching my videos again, and I hope you will join me for more. Plenty on the way, and it would help me if you can subscribe, turn on notifications and like the video. Thank you very much, and see you all again soon. Bye for now.